For those of you who don't know me, I love comedies. I love the acting, I love the gags, but what sticks with me the most is the writing. I can recite jokes that I heard 5 years ago, 10 years ago, maybe even 15, and many of them weren't even written, they were improvised. But a film's writing goes beyond just the script and on-set revisions. It continues all the way through post-production, ending with the process of looping. But what is looping? I'll let director Scott Zabilski explain.
Looping is a process where you go back and re-record what you had as production dialogue in post. So if the dialogue wasn't clean the first time that you got it, or if you want to add a line where you didn't have a line before, we'll go in and do what's sometimes also called ADR, and the actors will record their new voice along with the picture to replace the production dialogue.
I did ADR for a film I made in high school with okay results. I'm sure Walter Murch would cringe, but my 17-year-old self was quite impressed.
Yeah, but you know what? I came home last night at around 11 p.m. and my hula hoop was missing, just completely gone. Yeah, but you know what? I came home last night at around 11 p.m. and my hula hoop was missing, just completely gone.
Wow, that was much worse than I remember. But if done correctly, looping is a useful tool. But does it have a specific use for comedy?
I think in a comedy, you're really only going to be able to get looped lines in when the person's off camera. So whether it's that you're looking at the back of their head, or you're cutting away to somebody else who's listening to them, or you're on a wide shot and you're far enough away that you can't see how their lips are matching up. Any of those places are places where you can add a looped line. And then of course you can add them for jokes, or sometimes even in a comedy, you're adding them for story purposes or clarification. Sometimes you cut out a scene that you shot, but there was still an important piece of information, so you have to figure out a way to get that in, and obviously looping is a lot cheaper than reshooting something.
Jokes? Story purposes? Cheaper than reshoots? This looping thing sounds alright. So I decided to try my hand at it. I wrote some scenes and got some friends together to shoot them. Then afterwards we went to our closest ADR stage and recorded our looped lines. Here's what we came up with.
Shit! Strawberry shortcake. Salsa. Jiminy Christmas. Mother Mary and all the apostles.
The bathroom is a mess. Go clean it up.
Why do I have to clean it up?
Because it's your vomit all over my bath mat.
Fine. It's not all my vomit. Some of it was yours too.
I'm always cleaning up the vomit. Maybe you should try cleaning up the vomit yourself sometime, okay? Stupid Batman. Hate that Batman.
Hey, will you take a picture of me?
Sure thing.
Oh God. Oh no, I look like Gollum. Take another one. Oh God. I look like Gary Busey. Cross-eyed galore. I look like my mother. I look like a model before Photoshop. This will not work for Tinder.
Alright, not bad for a couple of cross-eyed college students. I'm sure if we had a bigger budget and the expertise of professionals, we'd have better results. Right?
In Fist Fight, there was a moment when Ice Cube, as soon as he got off camera, he started muttering stuff, and it just clearly it just didn't feel organic to what he was saying in the scene. It sort of felt like, oh, they were just trying to add a couple funny lines to fill in the space. And I think that's one of the dangers of looping, is that sometimes silence is the right thing. You don't need to fill every second of space with a joke. And I think sometimes in comedy especially, people feel like if there's a space, if there's an opportunity, you should cram every free second with a joke. But even if the joke's funny, if it doesn't feel like it fits, if it doesn't make sense, if it's not organic to the scene, then I still think it hurts the scene more than it helps.
Right, so I guess silence would have been better than our lines about Ice Age Collision Course.
Ice Age? The Collision Course? I was gonna watch Ice Age Collision Course, but now I gotta clean up vomit.
Looping feels like a fix-it-in-post kind of tool, but is there ever a time where ADR is the only option?
When you're shooting and you're doing a union movie, if you have extras, they can't say lines, right? So you know sometimes that it's a little bit weird that if you've got a group of 5 guys and only 3 of them are allowed to talk and 2 of them aren't talking, it's going to be weird to never hear from them. Then you know after the fact that you're going to add lines in, especially when everyone's talking over each other in a group, or when there's a cutaway, maybe you add something to fill it in and make it feel like all of them are talking.
But now my big question is about TV edits. We've seen them. They're bad.
I have had it with these monkey fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday play.
You see what happens, Larry? You see what happens when you find a stranger in the Alps?
Freak you, Sam Rothstein, freak you.
Networks cut down and redub R-rated comedies to meet broadcast standards. But is this really a bad thing?
Like, sometimes swear words make things funnier, adding them. But I think they can also be a crutch. I think when you're writing a script and you're just working on one scene at a time, or when you're shooting a movie, you're shooting one scene at a time, it's easy to throw curse words in there and just not think anything of it. And then once you cut the entire movie together and you see it back to back, you start to realize, like, oh, it does feel like we're a little heavy on this language that, at some point there is too much. Everyone's got a different idea of where that point is, but I think that sometimes language can be really funny, it can be really effective, but when it's thrown in there just as a crutch, then you should ask yourself, do I really need that in here? Because, the dirtier a movie is, the more you're limiting your audience.
Don't be a baby. I know what the audience wants, and that's profanity. So here's a hilarious scene jam-packed with obscenities.
Fuck you!
Fuck me, fuck you!
No, not this time, you little shithead!
Shove it up your asshole, bitch!
Yeah, so the network said this would not fly on TV. So we went back to our quality ADR stage and redubbed it to the best of our ability. Now watch our FCC-approved version.
Freak you!
Freak me, freak you!
No, not this time, you little shortbread!
Shove it up your Amherst, witch!
Well, it's no monkey fighting snakes, but I'll take it.